they do, YouTube? It's your boy D Dynamite here, aka MrBoxer.com, aka Mr. Holla at your motherfucking boy, aka I Talk Boxing. So I'm in the building today, man, and I'm here to report to you guys. Unfortunately, your boy 50 Cent, damn homie, at high school you was the man, homie. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, all right? And did I say 52? Anyway, your boy, all right, and SMS Promotions has officially filed bankruptcy, all right? And that's just fucked up, man. You know, when 50 came into the game, I had high hopes for him, man, to do some big things, man. But obviously he came into the game with the wrong mentality, all right? He came into the game, man, and he really ruffled some feathers, man, and the wrong kind of feathers, all right? This isn't a rap game. You can't just start beefs and think you're going to get away with it, all right? And then, if you're going to start beefs, you don't start beefs with people like Al Heyman, Oscar De La Hoya, okay? Bob Arum. Well, Bob Arum I think he was okay with, but you don't start beefs with those guys because they got all the fighters, man. You know, if I was a promoter, I would be best friends with Oscar De La Hoya. Be like, Oscar, man, what you doing later on, man? Let's go out, man. Let's go have a drink. You know, I'll be making friends with Al Heyman. Hey, Al, man, let me buy you. Hey, man, look. Hey, let me buy. Hey, drink. Hey, get Al Heyman a drink. I would be, man, I'll be sucking some ass, okay? Fuck all y'all. I would be kissing some ass. Those are the people that you would want to make friends with. But for some reason, 50 Cent, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson decided that he wanted to ruffle those guys' feathers. And we see what happened as a result. He got blackballed, man. All right? He got blackballed. Plain and simple. The only other person he could turn to was Bob Arum. All right? And the only fights that Bob Arum was willing to concede to give to 50 Cent were fights that were fights that his fighters were extremely disadvantaged in. Okay? Gamboa, Kirkland, Canelo, and even Kirkland Tapia, man, just to name a few. You know, these fights were fights that 50 Cent's or SMS Promotions fighters were severely disadvantaged in. All right? Gamboa went in there against Terrence Crawford, a true 140-pounder, as he just proved in his recent fight against Tomas Delorme. All right? Gamboa can fight at 125 pounds, okay? Don't get me wrong, this was a great opportunity for him, but as a promoter, it's your job to foresee the outcome of this fight and realize that overall it's not beneficial for not only the fighter, but for you as the promoter. Kirkland Tapia, if you take a look at that fight was hugely favored for Glenn Tapia, okay? Glenn Tapia was the favorite going into that fight. Nobody expected James Kirkland to do well in that fight. All right? He hadn't fought in 2 years. Okay? He had been in and out of the gym and doing this and doing that. Nobody expected James Kirkland to come in and do well. Glenn Tapia was supposed to beat him. That fight was supposed to be a step-up fight for Glenn Tapia. Okay, Kirkland was supposed to lose. All right, so that fight was set up for an SMS fighter to lose. He was severely disadvantaged. Now, Kirkland turned around and won, which was beautiful. But then after a fight like that, 2 years later, he turns around and fights Canelo in another severely disadvantaged fight. Okay? And, you know, that was just the case when it came, you know, that was the story of SMS Promotions. All right, they didn't build up their fighters. They didn't create career pathways for them to be successful. All right, now I'm going to take myself out of the shoes of a boxing fan, right? And I'm going to go into the shoes of a promoter. If my job is to promote a fighter, okay, if that's my job, that's what I'm getting paid for, that's how I make my money. All right, fuck all y'all. I make my money by promoting fighters. My objectives are to get my fighters maximum exposure and to get them into winnable fights. All right. Why do I want them with maximum exposure because I want people to see them, obviously. But not only do I want them to see them, I want them to see my fighters win. Once the fans see my fighters win, then they're going to want to see my fighters in bigger fights for more money. Over and over and over again, and that's how this goes. But 50 Cent, it seemed like his main objective was to skip the process of building his fighters up and put them in big fights. I don't know if it was to cash out or what, and kind of go from there. But you can't do it like that. The steps before that final step are more important. The reason why is because now that James Kirkland lost, no one gives a shit. Does anybody want to see James Kirkland against someone else? No, I haven't seen any videos. I haven't seen anything come out. I still like James Kirkland, but there's no one at the top that I want to see James Kirkland in the ring against. Same thing goes for Gamboa. Well, Gamboa's a little bit different. I kind of want to see him in the ring against Ricky Burns or somebody like that. I think that would be good. But you get where I'm coming from. Okay? Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, Kirkland's a big name, Gamboa's a big name. Actually, no, they're not, first of all. But even if they were big names at some point, they would still need the same kind of promotion as if they were starting from scratch, okay? They would still need the same kind of pathway. Why? Because they've been inactive. And boxing is a sport of what have you done for me lately? Okay? And not only that, but think of the inactivity as a crutch. You can't not fight for 2 years, come in and have the biggest fight of your life. It doesn't work like that. Okay? Now you lack the experience going into the big fight. You lack the tools necessary. You lack the fights that will enable you to be properly prepared for these big fights. You lack them. You're severely disadvantaged. How does that benefit the fighter? Other than that initial payday. It really doesn't. When your goal is to be successful in the sport, one of your main objectives, not only as a fighter, but as a promoter, is longevity. And what 50 Cent did was cut the careers short of the fighters that he managed. Okay? Andre Dirrell, Yuriorkis Gamboa, Billy Dibb, he cut their careers short. Okay? James Kirkland, he cut their careers short. And as a result, we now witness the downfall of SMS Promotions. And it's a goddamn shame. You know, I hate to say this, man, but 50 Cent, he ruined the careers of the fighters that he managed, man, or promoted. He really kind of ruined their careers. Okay? I hate to say this, man. I mean, 50 Cent, I mean, like a lot of his music, man, but he really ruined these dudes' careers, man. Point blank period. I don't hear nobody talking about it, but it's the truth. Andre Dirrell managed to salvage his career by getting his title shot, which he ended up falling short in, which if you watched my prediction video and you watched my post-fight video, I talk about how he lacked the experience going into that fight, which comes from 50 Cent. That big fight experience. It's as a result of SMS Promotions, man. I don't know if 50 Cent thought about maybe like bringing his fighters overseas, you know, and maybe having his fighters fight like some UK fighters, like matching them up with some guys from Matchroom Promotions or O2, you know, or some fighters over in Japan, you know, just kind of keeping them active. I don't know if he actually thought about doing stuff like that, because to me that would have been better than the route that these guys have taken thus far by just not fighting. I mean, I don't know, man. I just kind of hate to see these fighters that were once good. If you go back in their career about 5 years ago, they were at the peak of their careers, which really shouldn't have been the peak. It was really the point right before the peak. These guys really missed out on their peak as a result of SMS Promotions, man. When James Kirkland went to SMS Promotions, man, he had a big win over Alfredo Angulo. You know? He was at the top, man. At that point, he could have fought for a world title, man. You know? Gamboa, man, he was at the peak of his career. He could have fought for a world title, man. I think what's most sad in this situation, not 50 Cent, because 50 Cent is $100 million in, man. I think what's most sad in this situation is the fighters, man. Where does Gamboa go from here, man? Where does Billy Dib go from here? Andre Dirrell already moved on. But what about the rest of SMS Promotions stable, man? Where do they go from here? You know what I mean? I really feel like, man, you know, 50 Cent kind of like, really kind of, and, you know, he really ruined these dudes' careers, man. I hope they bounce back, man. I really do. Anyway, man, that's all I got to say, man. Let me know what you think. What do you think about 50 Cent? What do you think about SMS Promotions? Let me know in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, Box Capital X or Capital X Die. You can also hit me up on Facebook, my community chat page, where we talk that shit, Box -sign or -sign Die. But until next time, it's your boy D Dynamite signing out. I'm out this bitch.